Today is Monday, June 29th, 2026, and it's 6:50 where I'm at. And today I want to talk on calmness, just being calm. I used to be a spaz when I was younger. I feel like a lot of men used to be kind of spastic when you were younger, but I used to be a huge spaz, talking about very emotional. I still kind of am to this day. I'm not like iron will nigga, nah. Still kind of a spaz to an extent. Like it's always in the back of my mind. However, I found ways to release that without blowing up stuff. And yeah, just speaking on calmness, I think the calmer you are with folk, the calmer you are with yourself, I think the easier it is for you to really see a situation. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I do have a lot of angst that really comes up in my system and stuff. And it's a lot of times I don't know how to handle that. For me, a lot of things I do is with fitness. I feel like a lot of the angst washes over me. And I do something physical, like I get out of my body. Go play a sport. I go to the gym, or I do go for a run, or some kind of fitness to get the angst out of my body so I can focus on what I eat on the day. I used to have very negative coping mechanisms on how to rid myself of angst, but I found that coping mechanism has its drawbacks. So I moved to a situation where I'm trying to withdraw from that coping mechanism and utilize a different way of coping with angst. And it's just a cope at the end of the day, because I know you still gotta let the emotion and the fear and the uncertainty wash over you, and you just be there with it without running away or going to do something to get rid of it. But that's a genuine process. And I can admit where I got my shortcomings, I'm not there at the point in terms of dealing with some of my angst where I don't need to do anything with it. I just chill with it. I don't move, nothing. Just be still with the angst. I'm working towards that. But what I've seen that works for me is some form of movement, something physical, something to get myself back into my own body. Is what I'm trying to talk about in terms of how I understand angst for myself, and that's what makes sense in my own head. So, yeah. But just speaking on calmness, I found that the calmer I am with folk, it's usually a little bit easier. When I'm animated or I'm a little activated, it's usually not that good for me, and it's usually not that good for the other person. So I try to be as possible. Some situations, you're gonna get activated and you can say, I'm sorry, my bad. Other situations, you gotta be like, yo, zen, like you're just there, like you're present. But your emotions are like in Mars. They're away from there. You're present, like you're listening, your whole body's there. And you just let the thing wash over you without losing your cool. So that's how I kind of feel on calmness. And I feel like it's a continual process. I don't think you're gonna get to that point where you're always calm and stuff won't get you reactive and you won't be activated. No, I think that's a lie and a fallacy. However, I believe that you can get to a point where you can face those emotions without letting them bleed onto people, or, situations that you're like, damn, if I could have just kept it in, I could have prevented that. So, yeah, this is just how I feel about calmness. I feel and think it's a very important thing. It's a skill to cultivate at any age. You could be 10 if you're aware and practice calmness. You can be 35 and add it to your bag. Calmness, you can be 50 and try and add calmness to your bag and see what it works. So for me, it's that's where I'm at right now. Just trying to stay as calm as possible with myself, with people, with situations. Just chill out, be simple. The time is 6:55, and it's Monday, June 29, 2026. And yeah, that's all I got. God bless.